politics, and more with John Brown and Nick Durst, live on the UCY.TV network.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's 8 o'clock on Wednesday, October 19th. Can't believe it, it's so late in the year. The year's gone crazy fast. I'm joined tonight by my co-host, like always, Nick Durst. What's going on, Nick? How are you?
What's up, John? Yeah, the year's been flying by. It feels like the baseball season was just starting yesterday in April, but now we got one half of the World Series already set up with the Indians clinching today. And we have the Cubs about to play Game 3 against the Dodgers. And surprisingly, the Dodgers are up 2-1. But yeah, if anyone wants to call in tonight and discuss anything in sports or politics, we have a lot to discuss this evening. Give us a call at 1-718-717-8296. Or, of course, you can comment to us in the UCY chat, which is probably the best way to reach us. We'll answer any questions or comments you may have. Or you can tweet us. I am at Nick_Durst, and John is at SI_sports. I think we'll start here with John's Twitter. If you don't have access to the WikiLeaks emails, or you haven't seen them, and you want to read them all, go to John's Twitter at SI_sports. He literally has retweeted probably almost all of them.
Oh, speaking of which, I actually have some big news on that front. One of the things that I found in a WikiLeaks email, and it was Cheryl Mills, the former chief of staff of Hillary Rodham Clinton. I found in the email where she was coordinating with someone who worked at the Department of Justice, and the person to hide the email scandal, and the person was using a different email address, but they used their name as their email address on Gmail. So I found the connection, I highlighted it, and I posted it on Reddit, and the Daily Caller and the Gateway Pundit both picked up the story of the email, of what I found in the email. So now I feel like I'm part of the crew.
Exposing Hillary for who she really is. I mean, this whole fix is absolutely a joke. It's just so ridiculous. And we're going to discuss more of these emails. And I always say towards the end of our show tonight, we'll be leading into the debate, the last and final presidential debate. So we'll be talking about that more. You got to hope that the moderator, Chris Wallace, I believe, actually asked questions towards Hillary. Like, it's mind-boggling that in the first two debates, not one question about Benghazi, not one question about the emails, not one question about her possibly having an affair with a woman. Not that would really matter, because her husband had plenty of affairs with women. But hopefully Wallace actually does a fair debate tonight. I'm not really sure, but towards the end of the show, we'll definitely get heavy into a debate preview, as once again we'll be leading into the debate, and there's not going to be a Ken Bones there tonight to save the debate. It's going to be on these two. It's the last time America will get to hear Hillary say that she's been preparing to be president, and a big smile, and Trump hopefully gets a chance to actually speak. Hillary though, as we've seen in the leaks, she's been getting the questions ahead of time, and it's not fair.
Absolutely. So, there was such a good chain of events the other day. So we're getting all these leaks every single day, thousands of emails to get a real insight into what's going on with the campaign. And at the same time, Project Veritas, which is like an investigative reporter who has these hidden cameras and sort of like infiltrated the DNC, we see that they're rapidly and actively colluding and trying to, overthrow and change the democratic process. So in the first video, we see them paying people to go to Trump rallies to commit violence. And in the second one, they're actively trying to, engage in voter fraud. During the same exact day that President Obama goes, "Stop whining. There's no such thing as voter fraud." A video comes out of high-level people. These aren't nobodies. These are like campaign staff members who are actively involved in the campaign and in the White House, who are busing people in from other states, hiring illegal immigrants, doing all this crazy stuff just to get votes. And they're like proud of it.
Well, I think the most interesting email was the fact that despite Hillary saying how she's all about minorities, in her emails, they were saying, like, we don't care about the black vote. It doesn't matter, but, why don't we hire someone that's black for your staff so it looks like you really care about black people?
Yeah, like, that's the thing. That they paint with that brush about how, the Republicans are racist and misogynistic, blah, 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 blah. First of all, in the Clinton campaign, in the Clinton Foundation, women are paid half of what men are paid. Ridiculous. And there's a whole email about food groups where they're going through who should the VP pick be, and the only thing that they're measuring them on is what race they are, what ethnicity, what gender they are, because that's all that matters to them. They can't see past that. And by definition,
it's true that the Starbucks founder was on the vice presidential list. Bill Gates' wife was on the presidential list. Garcetti, I think he's a Hispanic background from California. They were all on the potential list for VP.
Yeah, the more and more we see, the more indicting it is. The fact that, never mind Jim Comey, that didn't indict somebody, like, she has actively committed felonies. There's so much evidence now. One of the emails, she talks about deleting the emails. So she hid a bunch of emails from the investigation and obviously from the Freedom of Information Act. But her idea, and her staff are talking about, she was emailing with President Obama, and that's why they're trying to hide it. And he has executive privilege, so he's allowed to, like, shield it from laws.
Presidential pardon.
But you can't just pretend like that doesn't exist. You can't just lie to Congress. It doesn't work that way. So not only were the emails between her and the president deleted, but all of these other emails were deleted. And this whole Russian nonsense, first of all, there's no evidence of that. It's nonsense. WikiLeaks has nothing to do with the Russian. In fact, Putin actually hates WikiLeaks because he released a whole bunch of stuff on Putin years ago. The idea that this is some sort of Russian conspiracy is bullshit. Assad.
Why is Hillary putting it out that her campaign, that this is the Russians? Is she trying to start a nuclear war?
Absolutely. That's the false flag. It's like right out of the book.
The whole Russia is scary thing is so 80s, not 70s. We're not on such bad terms as if they're trying to paint the picture today.
There's even wiki emails where they discuss talking points on how to, because they knew about Julian Assange. They knew that he was going to be a problem. So there's talk where she talks about A, droning him, so you're going to kill someone for releasing, and B, about blaming it on the Russians. So it's so blatantly obvious it's not that. But have you heard that Julian Assange's internet access actually got cut off the other day?
Yeah, I wonder how she pulled that off.
No, John Kerry did. And I would say right now that he probably has something real good on John Kerry, something real juicy.
Well, I'm sure Hillary was in John Kerry's ear, though.
All right. Let's hold on one second, Nick. Let's add our field reporter. I'm trying to add him anyway, Andrew, and to see what he says about. He had some pretty good insights today when we had our pre-show lunch.
And where did you eat today? That's what the fans want to know, as always.
We had Sicilian pizza on 8th Avenue. No homeless interactions today, though.
Surprising.
Skype's being a pain in the ass. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get him on the call.
Well, hopefully we will, because he has some interesting field reporting for us as usual.
Andrew.
So, as we try to get Andrew on, did you see?
Hey guys, I'm here.
All right, Andrew. Welcome to the program. And we'll start off with this. What did you think about Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate, slamming Hillary's foreign policy, saying she would start a nuclear war?
I am not actually aware of that because I'm going to give you a reason. I don't care about Jill Stein.
Well, she's saying, better not vote for Hillary. John, did you see this?
Yeah, Jill Stein is actually very much, she's a crazy person. I would never vote for her, but she's very much woke. She's not part of the establishment crookery. She does want to do some crazy Greenpeace stuff, but you know what? Honestly, she's one of the few only people who are calling out Hillary Clinton for how criminal she is. On Twitter, she literally tweeted a link to one of the WikiLeaks articles about how Hillary knew where the emails were and how she was blatantly deleting them. And she quoted it basically saying, how is she not indicted yet? And you know what? I have to agree. I have to ask the same question. How has she not been indicted yet? This is insane.
Hey, you know what's even more ridiculous is, John was just bringing it up earlier, every single day, WikiLeaks is basically putting out there for the public all these crazy emails. And, for people who haven't looked at WikiLeaks, I'm going to be honest, take at least, 5 minutes out of your day, like I usually do, to go on wikileaks.org and look at these emails. What you will see is so nauseating. It'll make you want to give yourself a punch in the head, literally.
Well, here's the problem, that the media isn't covering these, so the majority of Americans don't know about it. And what was that? Was it CNN that said, these are private things, we're not allowed to discuss them, and that's all they said? Was it that station, John? I think
yes, they did say that.
Yeah, it's CNN actually tried to say that it was illegal for people to read them, that only the media should read them. This is some North Korea, Soviet bloc propaganda insanity. Listen, the only time the media should ever give you a story or a spin on a story like this is if it's an opinion piece, and they come out right in front and say, this is our opinion. CNN is blatant propaganda that pretends to be news, and that's so dangerous. And they really need to do something about it. It should be illegal for you to pretend like you're news when you are corrupt, crazy corrupt. And all you have to do is read the WikiLeaks. They have a list of quote-unquote friendly reporters who are giving them, essentially will create other news stories to try and bury bad news that comes out about them. That's propaganda. That's insane. So it's like a super PAC, but they're putting on a face like it's not. And that's, CNN is going to be killed in the ratings after this whole presidential campaign's over. But honestly, there needs to be a law about you. If you are crazy partial, you need to come out and say it. You need to. It's outrageous that they don't happen.
These networks are getting paid off right now somehow. And then, another one of the emails was that, the DNC thought Hillary wasn't a good candidate going back. And then all of a sudden this Rothschild guy, I don't even know who he is, where he came from, he started grooming Clinton for president months before she even announced she was running.
Oh, I know exactly who he is. He's a billionaire. He's one of the five richest families in America, and he's a hardcore globalist. He's very much in the same cloth as George Soros and these other guys. They want open borders completely. They want to trade away the U.S. sovereignty so that the super duper global elites will get super rich. When you look at globalism in a microcosm of how it affects us, think about NAFTA. So a lot of our middle class, all of those jobs got outsourced, and we're all like, oh, our jobs, blah, blah, blah. But take another step back and think about this. Your iPhone is made in a factory that has nets because people jump off the top of the roof. Globalism has created economic slavery, and the left just ignores it. So, if you look at the Ivory Coast and the way that the chocolate industry works, that is modern-day slavery, worse than anything that ever happened on the plantations. And we just ignore it because we want profits. So when your iPhone is made in China in a factory, in a sweatshop where people are killing themselves because the conditions are so bad, and when the Hillary Clinton State Department fights with Haiti over raising their minimum wage from 13 cents a day, it's outrageous that the left just wants more of this. They want TPP. They want it. So they've already screwed over Mexico and South America and just drink all the money out of it. And now they just want to move it over to the South Pacific and do it to them as well. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Well, again, I am against TPP altogether. I mean, TPP is going to make manufacturing growth in this country far worse than what it is now. And hopefully when we get Donald Trump elected, Trump in the first 3 months of his presidency is going to say, we don't need TPP. TPP's bad. We have to get rid of it. Plain simple. It's not going to benefit the United States of America.
So my number one issue with this entire process of this election so far is the best thing about America is that we peacefully hand over power from one ruling class to one ruling party to another. And when George Washington gave power of the presidency to John Adams, it was the first time in human history that power and sovereignty were transferred without conflict. Now we've done that every single time. This time they're doing a dog and pony show to make it look like it's a regular election. But they're doing everything in their power, including having operatives who are, extremely involved in the media so they can completely shut off and airtime and over-report. And they have this narrative that they shape. They're having super PACs that are getting money from the campaign that are out there creating violence at things to try to create this idea, this narrative that doesn't really exist. And they're also, which is insane, they're out there doing voter fraud on a crazy large scale. And all these polls, Trump's losing here, Trump's losing there. If you actually look into the polls and you look at the methodology of who they're asking, you can see that they're blatantly oversampling Democrats, oversampling women, oversampling minorities, purposely to try to get it so that it looks like Trump's losing, to try to disenfranchise his fans, to try to suppress his vote from coming out. I read a poll today where it said Hillary's up 5 points in Arizona. Oh my God, a Democrat hasn't won Arizona in years. You click into the poll, you look at who they're talking to. They're talking to 65% Democrats, 35% Republicans, and the rest independents. In a state where there's 100,000 more Republicans than Democrats, they're oversampling Democrats almost 2-1. That you're literally just moving the data so it'll tell the story you want to get an outcome. That's propaganda.
That's why you can actually look at these online polls a little more accurately because the Americans are actually voting themselves, and in all of them, Trump destroys Hillary, and that's just a reason. That just goes to show you that. And maybe John, you could say differently, but to me, this is the most corrupt election I've ever seen in my life.
I couldn't agree more.
And it's not just Hillary who's corrupt; it's President Obama. That's you know what? Nixon was a crook, and Hillary's a crook. So there's a lot of comparables there. But the difference is, I've never seen a sitting president go out and campaign for somebody in his party, have Loretta Lynch meet her husband, all these under-table backroom deals to try to just prop her up. Because in reality, it's Obama. It's just another term for Obama. It's Obama keeping power. That's more than anything else in this, because Hillary is essentially on her deathbed. She's probably going to do some stuff Obama wouldn't want, but in reality, their policies are going to be close enough where this is just Obama's pulling out all the stops. He's calling out, he's telling the Republican to stop whining. Now, when Obama was running against John McCain, do you remember George Bush saying boo about Senator Obama at the time? No, because it's not his place. It's completely unethical, because now what you're doing is you're usurping the democratic process by inserting yourself and your power. That's the big thing. Whenever the left has power, they really try to use that to silence other people and to control them. A great example is the IRS looking into all these conservative groups and just essentially trying to silence them with the power of the IRS. And, the head of the IRS had to resign, and she actually ended up being charged with a felony. This happens, and the media doesn't even report it. There's an open investigation with the Senate the Congress and Senate Oversight Committee right now about Hillary Clinton, and the media does not talk about it. That is insane to me.
Yeah, Andrew, any thoughts on that?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
About how
What John just said.
I'm sorry, John, can you repeat that?
So what I'm saying is, I find it outrageous that the Senate Oversight Committee is looking into Hillary Clinton violating the law right now, 20 days out from the election, and the media is pretending like it doesn't even happen. You know where I have to watch those? Well, Trent Gowdy, he's a hero in this. He's one of the few people who are willing to stand up to Hillary Clinton. And you know where I have to watch this? Him talk? I have to watch it on C-SPAN because it's the only news outlet that covers it. That's outrageous to me. But instead, a woman who was on a flight with Trump fucking 40 years ago said he grabbed her tit, and a witness said he didn't. That gets hours of playtime, and over and over and over and over and over again. It's insane to me.
How about this? How about
Well, let me respond. Let me respond because basically, overall, I just feel that the drive-by media every single day, and I'm going to be honest here. Let me be honest. This is idiocracy. That they are making Donald Trump's personal life from 30, 40-something years ago being involved in this campaign where me, you, and Nick do not, and let me stress this out, do not care about all these allegations, what has happened with Donald Trump before he ran for president. Who cares? We do not need to know about any of this stuff. What we need to know about right now is how many dirty emails are coming from Hillary Clinton.
Well, here's the thing about we know the emails are dirty and what have you, but they're not going to be. It's not being brought up. They're not being brought up in the debates. It's a disgrace. It was funny though that in the debate when they were saying "Oh, Trump, you don't think Hillary's physically fit to be president?" And then he was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Try sitting in front of Congress for 12 hours answering questions about emails." Well, that should have been a follow-up right there about their emails, and it wasn't. And how do you feel? How do you feel about and Andrew? How do you feel about the fact that Hillary might want to ban rated R video games?
You mean rated M video games?
M for mature.
Andrew.
He is.
Sorry about that. My mic was acting up. Let me respond because I have to give a good response, guys. Because basically, you made me pull out my microphone because I was too excited to hear that statement. So here's my response. Okay, I will be outright offended if Hillary Clinton tells the ESRB, "Well, you can't be making violent video games anymore like Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption, Watch Dogs 2, or Mafia 3. To be honest, that's the point of rated M games.
And you know what? It's Andrew. It's crazy because a few months ago she was saying that gangs are a good thing. They're it's like a family atmosphere. So it's just nuts.
Well, I want to play Grand Theft Auto. I want to play Watch Dogs. I want to play Red Dead. I want to play, Mafia. Why is Hillary Clinton telling me that I can't play those video games? And I'm going to be 21 in about 2 weeks. In almost 2 weeks, I'm going to be 21. I do not need Hillary Clinton telling me that I cannot play these games as a 21-year-old man. Shut up, Hillary Clinton. Just shut up about me playing my video games for crying out loud.
Andrew, your impersonation of the impersonation of Hillary is great. And this is nothing new. Hillary said this in 1993 before you were born. So it's just crazy.
Oh boy, if she had her way, there wouldn't even be a Grand Theft Auto, or maybe a driver.
How do you think Rockstar Games would feel about that if their game was banned?
Oh boy, I love Rockstar Games. I think they're the best video game developers in the world. And by the way, quickly, I just want to mention to everybody, Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer coming out tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. But again, if Hillary Clinton somehow bans these video games, I am going to be offended.
Did you know that in Red Dead Redemption that Stop and Frisk has been officially banned?
Stop and Frisk has been officially banned. Oh boy.
All right, Andrew, let's calm down a little. I don't know, you said you're going to be turning 21 around the election.
On election day, I will be 21.
How are you going to spend that Sunday morning? Are you going to go, to a bar? And
Tuesday morning.
I thought you were going to go see Mike Francesa at the Bar and Grill on Long Island.
You mean O'Keefe's?
Sure. Whatever it's called. I thought he was going to get you.
I can't get out there on a Sunday morning. And my dad would not let me get out there.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. So, like we said earlier, we'll be previewing the debate at the end of this program tonight. But right now, we're going to do a really quick, super quick NBA season preview because it's going to be tipping off Tuesday. So the first question, very simple. We'll go around the room here. Who's going to be playing in the NBA Finals? I'm going with the Warriors and the Cavaliers.
Oh, real stretch there, Nick. You took the real dangerous pick, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go with you can't even go OKC anymore because Kevin Durant's not there.
You could maybe go Clippers, but it's highly unlikely.
Highly, highly unlikely. And out of the East, everyone kind of stinks in the East. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you as well. I'm gonna go Chalk, I guess, just because there's not even like a viable option.
If the Celtics got themselves a big-time player, I could think they could win the East, but they don't have one. So, Andrew...
They're the best coach, but they don't have a big-time player.
Definitely. Andrew, who do you got? Who do you got, man?
Well, I have to agree with you about Cleveland coming out of the East, but I kind of want to see the Spurs go to the Finals. I'm going to be honest.
Okay, you can be honest all you want, but it's probably not happening. They got Ginobili, he's like 40 now. Tony Parker's got to be up there in the 30s. They got Aldridge, and they got Leonard, but that's nowhere even close to Durant, Curry, and Thompson.
And you got to realize Kevin Duncan retired.
Tim Duncan.
You hear me? What's his first name? Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan. There we go. Yeah, he's the best power forward ever, and he retired. I know he wasn't playing serious minutes the last couple of years, but still, they didn't get better this year. Ginobili didn't get any younger. Parker's only like 35, which isn't that old, but he's been in the NBA for so long. Like, that's a lot of mileage on those legs.
Well, I'm hoping the Spurs don't trade LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, I don't think they will. They just signed him. But we're talking too much Spurs here. Let's talk about the team everybody cares about, the New York Knicks.
Yes, my team. Derrick Rose is not going to prison.
Well, he shouldn't have gone to prison because he did a despicable thing. He's a criminal. And John, do you agree with me that Derrick Rose should be in jail?
He did gangbang that girl, but allegedly the court couldn't prove it. He seems to be like a shitbag though, because he never denied the action. He just said it was consensual gang rape of this broad. He's a piece of shit. He's broke dick. You know what? I'm actually pretty much out on the Knicks this year. After that bullshit that Joakim Noah said earlier this year, fuck him. I saw Joakim Noah on Twitter today. He looks like a fucking... He looks like one of those fish that have eyes that are too far apart. Fuck that guy.
Well, here's my prediction.
Hey, I'm a lifelong Knicks fan, okay?
Okay, so
I'm hoping they at least make the playoffs.
They won't.
Make the Knicks great again.
Here we go. This is my prediction for the Knicks, and then we'll get John's. They're going to open the season on October 25th against the Cavaliers in Cleveland, and they're going to win. After that, they're going to be awful. They will not make the playoffs. Derrick Rose will play about 30 games. Noah's going to miss around 20 games. They're going to be pretty bad, and they won't make the playoffs. And at least they have a draft pick next year. John, what's your prediction here for the Knicks?
Very similar, except Rose is going to play like 25 games, break his knee, gangbang and some other broad, miss the rest of the year. We'll sniff the 8th seed with like 2 months out and then completely fall apart. I'm just hoping and praying that Porzingis doesn't get seriously hurt. If we play the whole year and Porzingis doesn't get hurt, it's a good season in my book.
All right, Andrew, give us a prediction and then you could go. Get out of here. We know you got things to do. You got to go back to the field and keep reporting.
All right. So, for my prediction on the 2016-17 Knicks, I am hoping that if they are healthy and they can hopefully keep everybody on the court for 82 games, which it's likely not going to happen, maybe 70-something games, I'm kind of hoping that they're going to win 45 games because the Eastern Conference is just terrible. I don't like the Eastern Conference. The Knicks are at least worthy of making it to the playoffs. But once they get to the playoffs, it's not going to be an easy road anyway. Some Eastern Conference team's just going to come up and maybe beat them. But 45 wins is a safe assumption if they are healthy. If they're not healthy, it's going to be another long season for me, and I'm just going to have to wait for the Yankees and hope that their minor league team is going to be, showing me some excitement next summer.
All right, well, the only thing we can all agree on is the Knicks will definitely be better than the Nets, even though they have Linsanity, who have a great year.
Oh, the Nets are going to be terrible again. You know what's so stupid? Oh, let's put an ad on WFAN. Let's make the Brooklyn Nets seem so good. Well, they don't really have anybody besides Brook Lopez and Jeremy Lin. The Nets are going to win at least 30, 31 games.
No shot. They're not winning 30 games.
Okay, maybe 27. Maybe 27. But they're going to get an NBA. They have an NBA pick this year, Nick.
I think they do, finally. No. Yeah,
finally have a pick.
They do,
Oh
but here's the thing.
God.
Here's the thing. It's a right to swap with the Celtics. So if the Nets have the lower pick, the Celtics get it, and then the Nets get the Celtics pick. The Celtics are going to be like a top 3 seed in the East. So the Nets will be picking in the late 20s.
Well, listen, I think the Celtics are going to be a top 4 team, and, I'm just hoping that, again, the Knicks win 45 games, plain simple, if they're healthy. If they're not, again, I just want to wait till next summer and see Gary Sanchez and all the minor league kids play on the Yankees. All right, guys. Before I go, I just want to say to everybody listening, enjoy the debate tonight. It's the last one, thankfully. And, by the way, the Indians are in the World Series. So let's just find out who they're going to be playing next.
And Andrew, we did mention the World Series, but are we going to be live tweeting the debate? And where can our fans find you for the live tweets?
If I will, I'm likely going to be tweeting, hopefully. I don't know yet because, I'm going to have my phone on me. But if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's Andy's Randomness on Twitter and Instagram. And if you do want to follow me on Snapchat, Andrew Sports Fan.
All right, there you have it. Andrew, he's very upset with the election, but he's looking forward to the Knicks. All right, thanks,
Andrew.
All right, remember, make the Knicks great again. Bye, guys.
Take it easy, man.
Easier said than done. All right, so John, for listeners out there, we are going to be talking in the debate very shortly. But first, as always, we got to talk a little NFL, and we're going to start off with the Jets, who are abysmal Monday night, 28-3 loss, 1-5 on the season, and man, is it great. David Johnson, absolute monster, 3 touchdowns against the Jets. If it was a flag football game, he would have scored easily as well because they couldn't even touch him. That's how terrible the Jets are. But the big news today, John, is Mr. Glassjaw himself, Geno Smith, will, in fact, be starting this Sunday, and he'll be taking on the Ravens. And for some reason, the Ravens are actually the underdogs in this game. The Jets are favored. I don't understand it. So if you have any money, bet the Ravens, because that's just a sucker thing bet to bet the Jets as favorites.
Absolutely. The Jets now are officially what I remember them growing up. So if you remember, right after the Vinny Testaverde years, they were garbage. It was just end the season, and they're right back there.
Chad Pennington days.
Oh, my God, Ragar himself. This team is supposed to be a really good defense. Their defense, outside of week 1 when they got to the quarterback a lot, they're not really getting to the quarterback as much, and their secondary sucks. including Revis, who's banged up, he might even still be out.
Revis Island is now a resort. I mean, anybody can come take a stay and get as many touchdowns as they want.
Absolutely. So this team, when it was a Rex Ryan team, wasn't great, but at least you could hang your hat on the fact that they were a good defensive team. Now they're, not a good defensive team, and they might be the worst offensive team in the league as well. Now we got Decker, who's hurt. He's getting surgery on his hip, so he's essentially, put him on the shelf. Fitzpatrick does what he does all the time, where he plays good for 1 year, gets a contract, and just sucks. That's like his patented move. You give up on the season week 5 because now you're playing Geno, so that's it. You've just punted on this entire season because Geno Smith is in the future. You know that he doesn't give you a chance to win. You know he turns the ball over. You know he's going to be out of the league. You know what I mean? Like there's no ceiling here. They just don't want to play, the kid or Bryce Petty or the other guy, Hackenberg. I just think that they don't think the kids are ready, and they don't want to ruin them by having them a terrible season.
Well, apparently, from what I'm hearing, and for those of you listeners out there, I do have some inside information on these topics. Petty is who they wanted to go with, but he was injured, and he hadn't practiced until late last week. So he's not ready to go. So that's why it wasn't him. So the plan is to probably just have Geno suck for a game or 3, and then bring Petty in. Hackenberg, they say, is not ready to play quarterback in the NFL, and they had no intention of ever playing him this year. And that's why he's the 4th-string quarterback, but they hope that one of the two could be their future QB. But here's what the Jets are going to do in classic Jets fashion. There's a few really good quarterbacks coming in the draft next year, but the Jets will somehow get hot at the end of the season just to get enough wins that'll move them out of like the top 5 of the draft, and that way they can't get a quarterback.
Listen, the Jets have taken second-round draft picks on quarterbacks a couple times. They just make bad decisions. And listen, Geno Smith physically is very gifted. He has the physical tools to be an excellent quarterback in this league. He has a big-time arm. He's elusive. This is the problem. It's between his ears. He's a dummy. And I don't think he can really read an NFL defense.
Right, and from what I hear, apparently he was having like a hissy fit on the sidelines Monday night. But from what I'm hearing is that the Jets don't like him, and nobody in the league likes him because he is not a locker room leader. He's a diva. He's all about himself, and that causes a lot of issues. People don't believe he can lead a team and be confident and call plays in the huddle. And he came in on Monday, and he did throw an interception on 4 plays. So,
yeah, he's gonna. The Jets are punting. They know that he can't win in this league. He's a bum. There's really nowhere other way to put it. It's a sad note, but he sucks. He's terrible. And what makes it worse is the fact that he's actually a pretty good physically. Like, if you worked him out, you'd be like, oh, this guy has the tools. The problem is it's between the ears. He feels a little bit of pressure. He just crumbles. He can get tricked into a defense where someone, bluffs a blitz. He just bites on it every time. Listen, not everyone's made out to play in the NFL. Listen, there's a reason why he didn't play, he played at West Virginia and not Alabama. He wasn't exactly the best college quarterback either, so I'm not really that surprised. I think that the Jets completely reached for him.
Yeah, well, there you have it. And the Jets, they're taking on the Ravens at home. Ravens are going to be at MetLife 2 weeks in a row. Who do you have winning this game and why? I have the Ravens winning because the Jets are awful. And Geno Smith is going to be throwing picks and stuff. He's going to get sacked. And Joe Flacco, I know you don't like him, but he's going to tear apart the Jets secondary, throwing the ball deep to Mike Wallace.
Yeah, I don't think that they're that good either, but on the same note, the Jets are just really, really bad. The Jets are really, really bad.
And then in week 8, just looking ahead, the Jets are going to take on the Browns. I think that's a good spot for the Browns to probably get their first win of the season.
Oh, that's a race to the bottom right there. They're both pretty bad, but
hopefully the Browns might have a new quarterback by the week, so we don't really know.
Yeah, and like you always say, though, the Jets will end up winning some pointless games and ruining it for themselves.
Absolutely.
So they'll probably beat the Browns there just to ruin their
Yeah.
their first round
Again,
pick.
Jets fans, look on the bright side. You got 2 more games against the Patriots. The Patriots, they won again week 6, 35-17. You know, the usual Brady, Gronk, it's all good. They're taking on the Steelers this week. That would have been a big matchup, but unfortunately Ben Roethlisberger is out 4 to 6 weeks. Me and you were both very high on the Steelers. You think they could hold it together until Roethlisberger gets back?
I don't know. Like, I like Bell. I think Bell is like a real big plus running back. But, you know, Big Ben, because of his transitions and you know, not being the stand-up kind of guy, he gets overlooked in this league. But listen, he's won a Super Bowl twice. He's thrown for 3,000 yards, like 6 or 7 times. Other than being hurt a lot, he's actually been very, very good. And I think he actually makes the people around him much better. They're going to struggle a little bit. I'm not even sure. Who is their backup anyway? Is it Seneca Wallace still?
Landry Jones.
I don't even know who that is. So good luck.
He played in the playoffs last year, I think. And then I pulled him for Big Ben.
Who are they playing the games that he's going to be out?
Okay, well, this week they're playing the Patriots.
Loss.
Then following week, I believe they have a bye, so that's good. Week 9, they're playing the Ravens.
You know what? I gotta say this.
Week 10, they're playing the Cowboys.
Something that we don't realize as Giant fans, we've been so spoiled. Eli's been a complete workhorse his entire career. You know, we haven't worried about who's going to play quarterback for us in a long, long time. And I think Eli should get more credit than he gets for that. He doesn't get any credit.
Well, he's definitely been durable, which is very hard to do. He's the active leader in consecutive games played, 3rd all time behind Brett Favre and his brother. Now we're going to have 2 totally different reactions here. What is your analysis of the week 6 win when the Giants defeated the Ravens 27-23?
Extremely happy, and it's not even about what you think it's about with the, you know, Odell Beckham and all the yards. It's about that 4th and goal where they stood him up. I think this defense showed that they're not going to be last year lay down and get your ass kicked. That tackle by Jonathan Garcia was excellent. Maybe the best linebacking play I've seen in the Giants in years. Very, 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 very happy with the defense. I think, you know, I know Eli threw one of those interceptions. It was bullshit at the end of the half. Didn't matter. I think our running game was getting a little bit of trouble, but having a professional running back there in Jenkins, who could actually do the protection, it helps. It helps a lot. And I think we're going to be all right.
Well, here's my take. You have the Giants. They're lucky to win. McAdoo, clueless still. Doesn't know how to call timeouts properly, challenges. His play calling is off. He has the biggest play calling sheet ever. It's like if you were going to the Cheesecake Factory. That's how big the menu is. Every play is just a variation of a draw or like a screen pass. Eli Manning was not good again. He had a bunch of yards, but he did have 2 interceptions. Now, so you have to take into account here that all of his yards mostly came on 2 10-yard passes to Beckham, who turned it on to 65 and 75-yard TDs. Man, Beckham could be at full speed on 1 step. It's ridiculous how quick he is. So they got lucky there. Then the whole thing with Beckham getting a penalty was BS because the rule is if you take your helmet off on the field of play or in the end zone, you get the penalty. If you watch the replay or watch it live like I did, he was clearly off the field when he took his helmet off. His feet were out of the end zone already. And I'm so sick of hearing Francesa on the radio this week ripping him. Like, he did nothing wrong. He keeps trying to pry and dig, asking McAdoo, Eli, Cruz, how are you going to control this guy? And, like, he did nothing wrong because it shouldn't have been a penalty. Then, after that, you know, we're getting worried here. They're going downfield. Joe Flacco throws one up, and Mr. Almost, and he did what he does best, Landon Collins, again, almost had an interception, drops it. I mean, if they were keeping a stat for, like, dropped interceptions, he's got to be first all time. It's, like, crazy how many he drops. Luckily,
You
they
have
got
to give him credit, though. You have to give him credit. He's like an undersized linebacker. The guy can really stop the run. You got to give him credit where credit is due.
He is a safety, so he should be getting interceptions. But they won the game. Another thing is Olivier Vernon, the $80 million man. Oh, he's so good at almost getting to the quarterback. Does he even have a sack yet this season? It's really disappointing.
He hasn't been the game changer that I was hoping for, but he's another one of those, like, he's a professional. I think we overpaid him, don't get me wrong. But I think he's one of those guys. He's a professional NFL player. He's really good. And I don't think he's the problem. Did we overpay him? Yeah, sure. But I don't think he's the problem. His play has been pretty good about stuck in the run. We definitely need to get more pressure on the quarterback. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. But, they got the win. Got to be happy about that. Unfortunately, they are still in last place. And the Redskins are playing the Lions this week. I think the Redskins have a really good shot to win that. And I think the Cowboys are off this week, so we got to make up some ground. The Eagles are playing the Vikings, so the Vikings should win. But we're going to start off with this terrible game. It's terrible start time, 9:30 a.m. in London. Nobody cares about football in London. The Giants are going to be playing the Rams in a game which I'll most likely miss most of because I'll be commuting to work and then I'll be working. So who do you have winning this game? The New York Giants or Los Angeles Rams in London?
Yeah, Andrew actually told me about that today. Thank God he did, because I would have completely missed that. The early start's a pain in the ass because, I'm not, ready for it. But it is kind of cool that I'll have football all day long, which is nice. Wake up, breakfast football, get to watch the 1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game, Sunday night game. So I'll be able to watch a shitload of football, which is cool. I kind of wish it wasn't the Giants, but on the same note, I do know that they're really trying to get the NFL over there, and that those games sell out, so at least it is back.
Yeah, and the main reason these games are being in London, I think there's at least 3 this year, is because the tickets right away, and the NFL sells more merchandise at those games than any other game in America. These London people, they go nuts. They buy all the merchandise. They sell out, and it's just so they're making money there. But as Americans, I don't like it because football shouldn't be played at 9:30 in the morning. Make the game a 1 o'clock start in local time and have it kick off at 7 p.m. in London. That way it's still a normal time. And luckily, this is not a Giants home game because that's not fair to lose a home game, lose at home field advantage. So it's not fair for the Rams that their home game is being played in London. Nevertheless, it's going to be a close game. I almost really want to say the Rams are going to win, but I think somehow, some way, the Giants will prevail in an ugly game, and it's going to come down to field goals, I think. I could be wrong, though.
Hey, you picked the Ravens, and the Giants came through, smacked them up.
I know. Now I'm picking the Giants, so the Rams will come through and smack them up.
Probably. Listen, at the halfway point of the game on Sunday, I was like, fucking Nick was right.
Man, I've been really right about the Jets this season. I've been perfect on my picks with them. But the Giants, I think I might be 3-3 as well, because I said they were going to win the first 2 games. I said they were going to beat the Redskins, and they lost. And then I picked them to lose the next 3 weeks, and they won. So I think I'm 3-3 on the season with my picks.
That's not bad.
Or I could be 4-2 because I picked 2 wins, and then the 2 losses. I think you're probably 3-3 because you picked the Giants to win every week.
Yep.
And is that going to change this week?
Nope. As you know, at the beginning of the year, I was picking the Rams, but the Rams, they suck. So no,
you were alone in the Rams going to the playoffs, so you should stick with them.
Yeah, I thought some of the moving to LA magic would work, but nope, didn't work that way. We suck.
So there you have it. You got our NFL picks. We're not going to go through any more games here. We usually do, but we both have the Jets losing and the Giants winning. But now the debate is coming up in 11 minutes. So John, break it down for us. Give us a little preview. What to watch for? What can we expect? And what will be the outcome?
So what I think is going to happen is Hillary Clinton is going to go and she's going to try to just paint him as, you're not presidential, blah, 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 blah. You know, the same bullshit she always does. She's going to try to get scary Donald to scare people from voting for Donald Trump. But what she doesn't realize is that Trump isn't a regular lay-down Jeb Bush politician. He's going to come out swinging, and he's going to come out with haymakers, and he has a arsenal of stuff to go after her with, and I could not be happier. I'm DVRing this. I cannot wait. I'm going to watch this again tomorrow. I'm watching it live. I'm going to watch it again tomorrow. The problem with corruption is that there, and this was a big problem, and including with the Bushes. You know, for all fairness, even though I voted Republican my whole life until recently, the Bushes were the same problem. There was a lot of backroom deals and a lot of crooked stuff going on, but there were so many people that were involved with them, senators and everyone else, that no one would call them out on it. The number one thing, that the reason we should vote for Trump is he's a true outsider. The Republican establishment hates him. They're trying to bring him down. That tape from Access Hollywood was released by Paul Ryan in the RNC. The DNC obviously hates him. Hillary and them hate him. The media hates him. Trump is the true change agent. And I don't know if you heard him talk the other day, he was talking about term limits for Congress and about not being able to become a lobbyist if you've worked in the government for 5 years. So when you leave, just so you work in the government, you leave, you can't become a lobbyist for 5 years. I think that's going to insulate our government from all this crooked backroom deal bullshit that goes on right now. And he's really going to change D.C. and he's going to clean it up. And we need that. We need someone to just get all of this crookery out of it. It's so corrupt. It's insane. And people going from Democrat to Republican, they're the same side. They're the same thing. They're just different sides of the same coin. We really need a true outsider who can just clean house. And honestly, this is the end of the GOP. The GOP will never be the same. Thank God, because the GOP the last 10, 20, 15 years has been a disgrace, from the party that Lincoln created and the party of Ronald Reagan. George Bush letting us get involved in a war that we shouldn't have, and then, Mitt Romney and all this nonsense and amnesty, and John McCain, that idiot. Like, I'm telling you right now, this is the first politician I've ever felt this strongly about. Trump is the last chance we have for America. Because, honestly, if Hillary Clinton gets elected, the Supreme Court justices that she's going to appoint will be so radically liberal that it will change the face of our nation forever. We will become a socialist country just like Germany. We'll have migrants out the ass. We'll have no gun rights. Our taxes will be insane. And we'll be, teetering on an economic collapse within a couple of years, because she wants to raise taxes and then raise government spending. Government spending right now is absurd, and she wants to raise that. And the problem is the vast majority of Americans are worried about who grabbed whose pussy and nonsense like that. For me, I'm worried about the Supreme Court justices. I'm worried about the economy. And honestly, I want someone whose name isn't Bush or Clinton. Because in the last 30 years, there's only been one president whose last name wasn't Bush or Clinton. This isn't a kingdom. We don't have a ruling family. I don't want insiders anymore. I want an outsider.
Yeah, and for those Americans out there who may still be undecided or voting, or just hate Trump because of the way the media is being portrayed of him, when you think Hillary's so great, you need to think of yourself here. And probably the two most important things to Americans are, A, your safety, and Trump is all about the military, and he doesn't want us to go to useless wars and get involved in foreign politics. B, or the second point, would be your taxes. So people who complain about your taxes right now and say, where did half my check go? Well, now you'll be able to say, if Hillary's president, where did 3/4 of my check go? So that's what you need to think about before you go out there and vote.
With the military, so this is something that a lot of people don't realize. And the only reason I realize, even though I've been out of the military for almost 6 years now, is my brother's still in. The military, the budget has been cut and cut and cut to the point where personnel-wise, we are the smallest we've been, personnel-wise, since before World War II. That's insane. We're fighting in multiple different countries. We have, right now, the situation in the Middle East is worse than it was in '08. After the surge in Iraq, it is more dangerous, it's worse. There's more unrest, there's more fighting, and there's ISIS terrorists, more countries. But we have a smaller military and less money than we did back then. So the last 8 years, we've really, really dulled down our effectiveness. And, honestly, Obama has really, all of his, progressive ways, he's really shown the world that he's a bitch. And he's got his bitch card pulled quite a bit. So in Syria, when he drew the red line for Assad using chemical weapons, then Assad uses chemical weapons, and he does nothing about it. Now that seems like, it's more important, that it's not that big a deal, blah, blah, blah. When you got to save face in front of the world, it means a lot, because then people will know that there's repercussions. For example, when Putin took Crimea, the reason that he did, and the reason that there was almost no fighting, is because he knew that Obama wouldn't do anything about it. Similarly, Putin tried to annex the country Georgia. If you remember that, George Bush immediately reacted. He barred them from coming to the World Trade Organization 2 weeks, and every day the Russian economy lost $1 billion a day. After 2 weeks, Putin said, "All right, it's not worth it," and just backed off. Obama is a bitch and doesn't have the powers, and not only does he not have the willingness to use the power he does have, he surrenders power to this, UN, NATO, globalist bullshit all the time. Recently, and everyone just pretend like it didn't happen, he handed over power of the internet from being an American trust to the global ruling government UN bullshit.
But and they also just gave a bunch of money to Syria, was it, or some Middle Eastern place?
He paid. This is great. He helped Jordan pay for a wall to keep refugees out of their country. The amount of foreign aid we give out is astounding.
Here's the thing. Correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but if people think Obama's a bad president, Hillary will be so much worse.
So everything I just said about Obama being too much of a pacifist, Hillary is just as bad economically and in domestic politics, but she's much more hawkish. She loves conflict and war. So it's like she's worse because not only
she's shown that she doesn't care if innocent Americans die. We got about 1 minute left here, and then everybody go watch the debate, and we'll be back here next week, of course. Is Chris Wallace going to be a fair moderator tonight, or is he going to be aiming more questions, hard-hitting questions towards Trump?
I think he's going to have to be fair, and this is the one reason. Because those WikiLeaks emails came out, and if he pulls what Raddatz pulled the last debate, people will go, "Oh, you're in the bag, you're one of them." And Fox can't afford that. Fox is winning the cable news industry right now, and this is their first debate. If he's bad, if he's Anderson Cooper, they'll lose a lot. They know that the Trump audience can make and break shows. If you want an example, look at Sean Hannity's ratings versus Kelly, what's her name?
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly's losing her time slot because her ratings are so bad. And Sean Hannity has the #1 show on cable. So the Trump fan is very, very powerful. So Fox News knows that. I would say higher-ups are leaning on him and say, listen, you can be a journalist, be fair, but do not piss off the huge demographic that watches our channel.
All right, there you have it, everybody. Have a great evening. Go watch the debate. And Trump will probably win, but people will say he lost because he's racist or some nonsense and say Hillary won. But listen to the facts. Listen to the important issues out there. And that way, you'll be able to know who to vote for. The choice seems to be clearly obvious, but the biased media is getting in the way. So pay attention to the debate tonight. Hopefully Chris Wallace, like you said, is in fact a fair moderator. That way, everyone can get